He got caught cheating. Not accused, not suspected, caught red-handed, screenshots, other women, the whole mess. And within 2 weeks, the conversation wasn't about what he did anymore. It was about what he's going through, despite what he put her through. That's not an accident. That's strategy. And today I'm breaking down exactly how that works. I'm Evolving Ebb. Welcome to Healing Her. Let's get into this video.
I keep trying for you. I gave you all the love I got.
Let's name this thing before we go any further. Y'all know I'm a stickler for naming shit. What I'm about to walk you through has a name in psychology. It's called DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. A man does something harmful, gets confronted, and instead of accountability, he flips the script so fast you get whiplash. Suddenly, he's not the one who did something wrong. He's the one suffering. And you're the one who's supposed to feel bad for bringing it up. I've watched this play out more times than I can count, both in my own life and situations close to me. And I want to walk you through the exact stages, because once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. It'll show up in your DMs, your friends' relationships, and maybe even your own. This isn't about one man. This is about a strategy that men use, consciously or not, to escape accountability. So let me give you what this looks like in real life, a real life scenario, so you can see how the pattern plays out stage by stage. It always starts the same way. She finds out, not from him, from receipts, other women sending screenshots, messages where he's begging for time, begging to see these women, begging to touch these women, maybe even a dick pic or two, forever how long he thought he can get away with it. Then boom, you bring it directly to him. And this is the exact moment that's going to tell you everything about who you're dealing with, because this is the fork in the road. A man with character meets that moment with discomfort, shame, but he engages. He answers. He owns it, even if it's ugly. But that's not what happens in this case. What she got instead was nothing. Cold, dismissive, no explanation, no accountability, no concern with how his behavior affected you. I want you to really sit in this stage. Can you imagine addressing your man about his behavior that is hurtful to you, and you get coldness, no desire to have conversation? This is the part people rush past, and it's actually the most important part. This is where you're going to learn who he really is. Think about the boldness it takes to be confronted with actual proof and respond with silence and attitude instead of an ounce of care. Walk with me. That's not a man who's embarrassed. That is a man whose ego is so on fire, he doesn't feel the need to explain himself to you at all. No, I'm sorry. No, let me explain. Just cold. And then in the middle of this same energy, he removes your pictures. He is pushing this breakup because he would rather let it go than confront what he has done. He starts to erase you in real time while you're still waiting on an explanation he's never going to give you. Wait for it. Read that sequence again, because here is where the plot twist comes in. Confronted him with evidence. He gets cold, and instead of fixing anything, he starts to erase you. Erase the relationship. Not fix, erase it. That's not a man processing hurt. That's a man protecting his image while he discards yours. And there's no more audacity than the order of operations in this story. He wasn't hurt enough to explain himself, but bothered enough to erase you. This is a lack of accountability, a lack of consideration, an ego, all showing up in the same 48 hours. Now we're headed to stage 3, the snowball. Here's where the plot twist starts building. Instead of the silence settling, it escalates. He starts posting stories, cryptic, emotional, half messages. Things like he'll never let a woman stress him out like this again. Things like it's difficult dealing with a depressed woman. It's difficult dealing with an unloyal woman. I'm a good man and I know it. The tone shifts from cold to dismissive to now wounded, and slowly sliding into spiraling overnight. And then it snowballs further. Sometimes it lands him in a real life crisis, a hospital, something health related, alcoholism, a breakdown, mental health issues, Doesn't matter the specifics. The pattern is what matters. What started 48 hours ago was a man who couldn't be bothered to explain his behavior, has now become a health crisis that requires everyone's compassion. Watch how fast the subject changes. Nobody's talking about those other women anymore. No one's asking why he had zero response when she showed him proof. Now the conversations is he's struggling. He needs support. This is so sad. I need you to notice something here. His pain, if it's real, still does not erase what happened in stage 2. Struggling with your mental health or with substance abuse is real and deserves compassion. But it's not a magic eraser for the coldness, the ego, and the lack of accountability that came first. Those are two separate conversations. And the moment they get merged into one, the original offense quietly disappears from the narrative and his suffering takes center stage. The merge is not an accident, it's the hijack. Stage 4, the rescue. This is the part that breaks my heart every single time, and it is the why behind why I'm doing this video. Because it's usually a good woman who steps into this role. She sees him struggling and her empathy activates. That's not a flaw in her. That's actually one of her best qualities, and probably yours too. But it gets weaponized here. She starts posting about how they're going to get him help. She's praying for him. She's telling people alcoholism is a terrible thing. Addiction is a disease. We need to be gentle with him. Just like that, she's gone from the woman who deserves an explanation to the woman who's managing his recovery. Let's zoom out because this pattern is bigger than one situation. Men who get caught understand instinctively or strategically that most women are wired for compassion. We were raised to nurture, to give grace, to believe people can change, to not give up on someone we love that's hurting. And that is a beautiful trait. It is also, if you're not careful, an exploitable one. The hijack works in this order every single time. First, get caught. Respond cold, bold, with zero accountability. Second, when the coldness doesn't make the problem go away, escalate into a crisis. Real or exaggerated. Something that's going to require her attention. Third, let her empathy do what accountability never did. Fourth, once she's poured herself into managing his crisis, quietly resume back to life together. Because the conversation has permanently moved from what he did to what he's going through. Here's your litmus test going forward. Ask yourself, did he ever actually answer for what happened? Or did the subject just change? Those are two different things. A man who's genuinely doing the work says, I hurt you, and here's what I'm going to do about it. At the moment he's confronted, not 3 weeks later from the hospital bed. A man who's hijacking a narrative goes cold first, then produces a crisis, and never circles back to the original wound at all. If the timeline of your relationship reads, caught, cold, silence, snowball, crisis, rescue, and you never actually got closure on what he did in stage 1, you didn't witness a redemption arc, sis. You witnessed a redirection. I talk about this stuff because I lived a version of it. And it's one of the ways I remind myself daily to stay rooted in my own worth. Not his crisis, not his story, mine's. It's something physical, my waist beats. Every strain I make at the Vibe Collection is tied to an intention. Non-negotiable, no contact, reclaim, stillness. They're not just pretty beads. They're a daily check-in with yourself, a reminder that you value yourself before everything else, before his apology tour, before his hospital bed redemption arc, before anybody's crisis, but your own healing. If you ever needed something tangible to remind you who you're protecting, that's what these are for. And if you're sitting here watching because you recognize this pattern in your own life right now, I want you to know something. You don't have to figure your way out of this alone. This is exactly why I built the exit blueprint. It's not about leaving in the chaos. It's about leaving with clarity, safety, and a plan. So you're not stuck managing his crisis instead of building your own life. If any part of today's video felt a little too familiar for you, that course is being built for you. The link is in the description whenever you're ready. No pressure, no rush. I'll be there. Here's what I need you to walk away with today. You can hope someone heals without volunteering to be the one who absorbs the damages while they do it. Watch the order of operations, not the performance. Clock it, Till next time, love yourself, protect your energy, and deal with life's bullshit with grace and gratitude, girl. Love ya.